Today, we are taking the first look at the brand new Target Japan launch. There are 10 brand new sets of darts on the table, including 6 black marquee models, updated versions of some familiar favourites, some brand new K-Flexes, and finally, a dart that genuinely might be the best looking Target Japan dart out there. I'll be putting each dart to the test and giving each one a rating, and by the end of the video, we will find out which dart will come out on top. So without further ado, let's get into it. I am so excited, man. So before I unbox and test all these darts, I want to quickly say a massive thank you for Target Japan for sending me this. Honestly, absolutely unbelievable to have 10 sets of brand new darts. Crazy. So all these darts here and also 2 sets of K-Flexes, which are the first things I'm going to look at. The first set are the Zenith Gen 2 K-Flexes. The design on the K-Flexes is set on a clear K-Flex base. The design is built around yellow-orange palettes, creating a vivid, energetic presence that stands out at the moment it reaches the board. The next set of K-Flexes we've got are the K-Flex Japan 2026 Limited Edition. It is the only Japan exclusive limited edition released this year. In the center of the K-Flex design, you will see a cat sitting peacefully beside a cup of Japanese green tea, gazing out through a traditional Japanese window towards the distant Mount Fiji. So that was both sets of K-Flexes, both looking absolutely beautiful, a chef's kiss. Now I'm going to look at the darts, what we're all here for. The first sets that I'm going to look at are all 6 of the black marquee darts. The first dart that I'm going to look at is actually the Pierce. Now these darts are a front weighted barrel, 90% tungsten and available in 2 weights, 22 grams and also 24 grams. The barrel has aggressive cuts and a premium finish and might be the most beautiful coating in the entire black marquee lineup. Now this should be noted here that every single black marquee you're going to see today will all come with a 30mm nano point and also a number 2 intermediate K-Flex. The back of the dart I would give a nice 8 out of 10. You've also got some ring cuts which I would give probably a 7 out of 10, and then at the front of the barrel it's a little bit less aggressive and I'll give it a 5 out of 10. So throwing the Pierce darts, I was actually really impressed with them straight away. I felt comfortable with them pretty much from the first few throws, which rarely does ever happen, to be fair. The grip is really nice and also they flew very well. The only kind of downside I had of these darts was I actually clipped at the flights quite a few times when throwing. But that wasn't that major at all, just kind of moved my hand down a bit more on the barrel and that kind of sorts it out. Also as well, these darts are 24 grams, but they did for me feel really heavy. They felt like 26 grams. It felt exactly like I was throwing the Nathan Aspel Gen 1 darts, which I absolutely love them darts, so I did not mind at all. On the rating, I would give them an 8 out of 10. The next black marquee dart we're looking at is the Spinal. Now these are a long, heavy, straight barrel. They have a silver and an electro red coating, which just looks absolutely amazing. These darts are also 90% tungsten and available in 23 and also 24 grams. The back to the middle of the barrel, I would give a 5 out of 10, and then the knurled part of the barrel, I would give a 3 out of 10. So when I was throwing these darts, these definitely took me the longest to get used to. Probably around about 10-15 minutes before I started throwing them consistently. The main thing for me was the knurled grip at the front of the barrel. Personally, I just wasn't a fan of how it felt. I would have preferred a different style of grip there. These weren't a terrible dart by any means possible, but for me, I would just preferred a bit more grip at the front just because that's a bit more my taste. So rating them, I would give them a 5 out of 10. The next dart we're looking at is the Eclipse. Now these are a front weighted barrel and also available in 23 and 25 grams, and they're also 90% tungsten. On the front section, the phases of an Eclipse are precisionally milled directly into the barrel, with the size of the sun gradually changing along the design. At the rear, there's an arrow-like decorative cuts to represent beams of light piercing through the shadow of an eclipse. I absolutely love the cuts in this dart, especially towards the back. It's absolutely beautiful. I really like it, and also it's very grippy. I would give it an 8 out of 10. The front section is not that grippy, it's a big drop off. I would give it personally a 4 out of 10. Now the Eclipse darts were a much better fit for me. They got a really nice balance to them and the grip feels really lovely. I absolutely love a nice aggressive dart. I got on with the barrel shape almost immediately and they felt really comfortable in my hand. The weight really suited my throw. Overall a really solid set. I'd happily pick them up again. I would give them an 8 out of 10. Now we're down to 3 darts left and the next one is the Enzos. Now this dart is actually quite interesting because the front section tapers gently with a smooth contour and the rear section expands outward into an olive shaped form. It is finished with a distinct contour at at the very end. Now this is meant to help players maintain a steady and confident grip. Now these darts are also 90% tungsten and do also come in 24 and 22 grams. Now these are probably the biggest surprise of the lot. I honestly was not expecting to like these anywhere near as much as I did. But after a few throws, I did not want to put them down at all. I absolutely loved the feel of these darts. They just felt right, the grip was spot on, and they left my hand really well. And I settled into them almost instantly. For me, these darts are honestly a 10 out of 10. Beautiful dart. Absolutely love gold darts. Felt amazing. Big fan. 100% am rating these a 10 out of 10. The next Black Marquee dart we have are the Blaze. Now these barrels are a torpedo shape with a front loaded balance. They're available in 23 and also 25 grams, and they're also 90% tungsten. Now the Blaze is the only torpedo shaped Black Marquee barrel in this release, giving it its naturally speedy and powerful character. The back of the barrel I would give a 7 out of 10. Then more in the middle of the barrel I would give a 6 out of 10. And then the front of the barrel is still quite grippy and I would give it a 7 out of 10. Now the Blaze darts made a fantastic first impression because I hit 180 with them, first 180 I've hit in a long time, and also I hit this within the first minute of throwing them. Absolutely buzzing. Now overall, these darts really reminded me a bit like the Nathan Aspinall Gen 1s, which I'm completely happy with that. I absolutely love the Nathan Aspinall darts, so they did feel really comfortable in my hands. The one thing about these darts, which I've not thought about doing with the other darts, is I probably would switch to a shorter point. For me, I feel like a 26mm point would suit these darts a little bit better than a 30mm. But overall, I did really enjoy them, hitting them 180 of them, very pleased. So I'm going to give them an 8.5 out of 10. Now I'm left with one set of darts, and that is the Creed. Now these are a hybrid barrel design, straight meets front loaded. These darts are available in 23 and 25 grams and also in 90% tungsten. The Black Marquee Creed is a barrel strongly influenced by the now discontinued Prime Series Cirrus. Now this type of barrel I have never ever tried before in my life. It is literally like you've got two darts stuck them together with super glue. It is so weird. There is a smoother section in the middle of the barrel, which I don't know if a lot of people will be a big fan of it, but the back of the barrel is actually quite aggressive. I would give an 8 out of 10. The middle of the barrel, I personally would give it a 5 out of 10. Now once I got thrown with these darts, they actually really surprised me. They flew very nicely, it felt very comfortable in my hand, and were just an all-around solid set of darts, to be honest. There wasn't really anything that blew me away with these darts, but there also wasn't anything that I really disliked about them. They're honestly just an all-round solid dart. Big fan of them, very nice grip on them. I liked them a lot. So for rating them, I'm going to give them a solid 8 out of 10. But now we're moving on to more our premium sets of darts. And the first dart we're going to look at is the PWs. So these are the Prime Series PW Gen 3s, and they're a torpedo shaped barrel. These come in 90% tungsten and also available in 23 and 25 grams. Now this barrel is inspired by a snake. The rear section is designed to resemble the texture of a snake's scales / skin, while the front section features a decorative cut inspired by snake eyes and fangs, the result of a barrel to feel sharp, dangerous and full of character. Now this dart also does come with a number 2 intermediate K-Flex, and it's also green, and the dart does also come with a 30mm nano grip point. Now the PWs felt really nice in my hand. I like the grip, and the first few throws went pretty good. The grip suited me well and they flew very nicely, and they gave me plenty of confidence when throwing them. Overall, it's really solid set of darts. I have nothing really bad to say about them. I'd give them a 9 out of 10. So now the next dart we're looking at is actually my old favourite dart. It is the Zenith darts. Now they've actually reinvented these darts and made the Zenith Gen 2s into a straight barrel. Now the proper name for these darts are the Zenith G2.5 Straight. These are a straight barrel, of course, and they're also available in 23 and 24 grams, and they're also 90% tungsten. Now the one thing I will say about this dart is, like the other Gen 2s, these are not that grippy at all. You have half the barrel, which are these blue coating, which I personally would give, honestly, maybe a 2.5 out of 10. It's not that grippy at all. And in the back of the barrel we have these sharp cuts, which is a bit more grippy. I would give it a 6 out of 10, but not too massively a grippy dart. Now this dart does also come with, by the way, a 30mm gold nano point and also a green number 2 intermediate K-Flex. Now I'm very interested to see how these feel. I absolutely loved his Gen 2s. really good dart. I got one of them pretty much instantly. I threw them.
Now, throwing the Zenith straight darts, they were a nice set overall to throw. They felt good in my hand, flew pretty well, although I did find myself wishing there was a bit more grip towards the front of the barrel. Other than that though, I enjoyed throwing them and they were pretty solid dart, got comfortable with them. Overall, I would give them an 8 out of 10.
Now there is only 2 darts left. We have one dart that looks absolutely amazing, probably the best Target Japan looking dart I've ever seen, and we have a reinvented dart. And this is the reinvented dart. Now these darts are the Rising Sun Gen 10.5s. Now you might remember that they did a 10 not too long ago, however they reimagined these and made some updates to the current version. The main update is at the rear section where ring cuts have been added. Now if you remember, the Gen 10s actually had a rubber section like a tyre at the back of the barrel, which is a very interesting choice, but they were decent darts. But clearly they've changed these darts now to a 10.5 and there's now ring cuts at the back of the barrel. Quite an interesting change, but I'm really interested to see how they will feel. Now this dart does also come with a 30mm Storm Nano Point and also a Gen 10 Intermediate number 2 K-Flex. Now this dart is very interesting, just the shape is so weird. The grip on it, we have the front of the barrel, which I personally would give 3 out of 10. You know what, let's do a 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10 feels a bit more suitable. Now the middle of the barrel is majority smooth, but we do have these like little grated cuts here, which I would personally give them a 2 out of 10. And then the back of the barrel, we've got some ring cuts, but they're not that grippy. I would give them a 2 out of 10. A very not grippy dart at all, but let's see how these will feel. Can I hit a 180 with them? Well, let's go find out.
Now the Rising Sun darts are definitely a unique set of darts. They're really skinny and they actually reminded me a bit of the Connor Scott darts with a weird scallop in them. Now the barrel itself, there's just not enough grip for me. I naturally found myself moving further back down the barrel. My index finger and my middle finger more sit in the middle to the front of the barrel, but naturally they just kept going at the back of the barrel, which I don't know why that happened, but it did happen. These darts for me, they're okay, but they're definitely not the best. I don't know why. The grip for me, I needed more. I need them to have more grip and I think I'd enjoy them a lot more. So rating them, I'm going to give them a 5 out of 10.
Now we are on to the last darts. Now this dart I think could be the best looking dart Target Japan has ever done. It is absolutely stunning. These are the Karas Gen 6s. They are front tapered barrel, available in 23 and 24 grams and also 90% tungsten. Now this barrel features a 3D water ripple cut, and when you rotate it under the light, it will catch and reflect the light from different angles, creating a shifting visual effect that feels like a shimmering ripples moving across a water surface. The dart also does come with a 30mm Storm Black Nano Point and also a number 2 Intermediate K-Flex and of course a biscuit tint. We all love biscuits. The grip on the dart, the front of the barrel is quite smooth, and you've also got these like ripple cuts in the middle of the barrel, which I would give honestly only a 3 out of 10. Not that grippy at all. You do have a smoother section towards the back of the barrel, and at the back of the barrel you do have these nice cuts, which I personally would give them honestly a 6 out of 10.
Now the Karas Gen 6s were an interesting set. They have a nice grip towards the back, but I did catch the flight a few times, and for some reason these points felt so much more aggressive than any other set I tested today. Even though they're all fitted with the same nano Swiss point, they just felt really aggressive on these darts for some reason. I don't know why, but I definitely would have to swap these out and go for a smoother point or something completely different because they're way too aggressive for my liking. However though, once I got settled in though, they actually felt really nice. They're also an incredibly stunning looking dart, like no joke, they're absolutely beautiful. I would honestly would buy this dart and end up displaying it more than throwing it just because how nice it looks, but it's not about that, it is about how they throw. Not too bad overall. I would give them a 7 out of 10.
So that was all the Target Japan stuff. Massive thank you for Target Japan for sending me this. Let me know in the comments down below what dart is your favourite, and let me know if you're buying anything from the brand new Target Japan launch. Have a good night, good morning, whatever time you're watching this. Goodbye.